welcome to the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news that happened during the week May 6th to May 12th, 2011. With tonight's airing of the series finale of Smallville in the US, it's only fitting that we start off this Speeding Bulletin with TV news. Firstly, Jim Bennett has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the most recent Season 10 episode Prophecy, while Douglas Trumbull and Mark Pritchard wrote their reviews for the same episode, with Doug giving it a 4.5 out of 5, while Mark gave it a 4 out of 5. As I mentioned, the 2-hour series finale of Smallville airs tonight, Friday, May 13th at 8 PM on the CW. The story of Clark Kent culminates in this epic 2-hour series finale as Clark takes the last step to becoming the Man of Steel. With surprise guest appearances, nods to the first few seasons of the series, and Michael Rosenbaum's return to Lex Luthor, this final episode wraps up a decade-long story following one man's journey to becoming the world's greatest superhero. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. There are dozens of different interviews with the cast and crew of Smallville conducted this past week. Here are some highlights. Tom Welling told the LA Times, "Each time we got picked up, we had to push the finish line further away, and I think we had some low moments when we got too far-fetched. If you look at the series, the first 5 years were one show and the next 5 years were a different show." Brian Peterson told TVLine.com, "We didn't want to just do an ending, we wanted to do a beginning. What we were aiming for was giving people the emotion of what's to come, since the end of this show lines up with every movie and a lot of other things." Tom and Michael Rosenbaum did a number of TV appearances as well. Tom was on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, but gave very little away. Tom and Michael Rosenbaum appeared on MTV's 10 on Top together. Tom also spoke on the NY Pix Morning News. Michael was a special guest on G4 TV's Attack of the Show, where he spoke about the series finale. Michael also appeared on Young Hollywood, where they showed a sneak peek at a scene between Lex and Clark in the ruins of the Luthor mansion. Tom Welling is scheduled to appear on Live with Regis and Kelly on May 17th. Check your local guide to see what time the May 17th episode will air in your location. The CW released a series of Smallville memory video clips highlighting a different member of the Smallville cast talking about their fondest memories of the series. So far we've seen videos from Tom Welling, Erica Durant, Michael Rosenbaum and Cassidy Freeman. Water Tower Music announced the release of Smallville's score from the complete series. The 28-song collection features nearly 70 minutes of music from composers Mark Snow and Louis Fabre, and is available now in digital form for download at Apple's iTunes Store and Amazon.com. Smallville has been nominated for 8 Leo Awards for 2011 across a number of categories. The Gala Awards ceremony for the Leo Awards will be held on Saturday, June 11th at Fairmont Hotel, Vancouver in Canada. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes from the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Come to the site now to read his review of the Season 5 episode Money to Burn, in which two crooks pose as firemen's friends while using a fireproof suit to rob safes during fires. In movie news, Brandon Routh, the star of Superman Returns, will be the major special guest to attend the 2011 Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. The Superman Celebration co-chairman Carla Ogle explained Routh had expressed interest in being a part of the Metropolis celebration, but was unsure if his current filming schedule would allow him to make the trip. She said, "We are so excited that he'll be here in Metropolis." Routh will join fellow Superman Return star Sam Huntington, along with Elena Huffman, who played Black Canary in Smallville, Mark Pillow, who was a nuclear man in Superman 4, and Tracy Roberts-Lewis, who played Darla in the Superboy TV series. Speaking of Sam Huntington, before he heads to Metropolis, he'll be appearing as a special guest at the Motor City Comic Con, which is on this weekend, May 13th to 15th, at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi, Michigan. Newsarama.com spoke with Action Comics writer Paul Cornell to get the inside word on what's next for Superman and his friends in the ongoing Reign of Doomsday story. He explains, Lex made a bunch of clones of the original, and they've each been set up to snare one of the different super characters. The aim was to bring them all to a place which would trap Superman, a trap which in the end Lex didn't need, but which he'd set up in advance anyway. DC Comics announced the upcoming release of a Superman Beyond one-shot special comic book. Spinning out of the Batman Beyond series, an aging Kal-El is called back into action to stop a villain more powerful than he's ever faced, all while his own superpowers are starting to fade. Shipping in August, Superman Beyond number 0 will be written by Tom DeFalco. Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Superboy number 7, which is reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said, "I'm glad that the storyline for Connor is moving swiftly forward," and he gave it a 4 out of 5 rating. Running a bit behind time, Jeffrey Taylor reviewed 2 issues of DC Universe Online, issue 6 and issue 7. Superman comics shipping this week from May 11th include Superman number 711, which is available in a variant cover, and Superboy the Boy of Steel trade paperback. In other news, as mentioned earlier, despite the damage the near-record floodwaters have caused in Metropolis, the 33rd annual Superman celebration will take place June 9th to June 12th as planned. Metropolis Tourism Director Angie Shelton explains that at this time, the only event to be cancelled is the Superman Road Race. Much of the course for this race is inside Fort Massac and along streets where flooding has occurred. IGN.com put together a comprehensive list of the top 100 comic book superheroes of all time, with Superman rated as number 1. They explain Superman is the blueprint for the modern superhero. He's arguably the single most important creation in the history of superhero comics. That's all the Superman news there was for the week May 6th to May 12th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone, welcome to Great Scott. I'm Scotty V, thanks for watching. 10 years ago, we learned that Smallville was the corn capital of the world, soon to be changed to the meteor capital of the world. And 10 years ago, we learned that we would soon learn about the boy who would become the man. 10 years ago, we met some great characters, Lex and Lionel Luthor, Clark Kent, Lana Lang to some, Chloe Sullivan, Pete Ross, who are now mostly off the show. We have a little bit of Lionel, and coming up tonight, the return of Lex Luthor. Now, after 10 years, supposedly, many things are going to come to fruition. Finally, we'll see the completely evil enemy that Lex was always meant to become. We always knew he would be. Michael Rosenbaum finally returning to the show after however many years it's been. And I must say that the years he was on the show, along with Lionel, John Glover, who played his father, were some of the greatest years the show had. The scenes between Lionel and Michael and Lex, Michael Rosenbaum and John Glover, were riveting. As sketchy as the show's writing has been, as cliched as it has oftentimes become, those scenes always made me want to watch the show. So, when first Lionel was killed and then Lex was done away with, Michael left because he thought that once Lex's journey to evil was complete, his job on the show was no longer interesting, which is unfortunate, and also I kind of agree with him. The fun thing about watching Lex during all those years was that he was trying to be a good man, and things seemed to conspire against him, and he always had that Luthor darkness within him. It was fun to watch. Now we get to see, probably for the first time, I assume, Lex as a complete evil man who has embraced his own destiny, as we find out if Clark will finally embrace his. I have a feeling we're in for some disappointments, but hopefully some excitement, especially with Michael's return. I'm looking forward to it. Just a few hours from now, let's see. Oh, I'm not wearing a watch. Tonight, the season finale, the series finale of Smallville. Enjoy it. I'll enjoy it as best I can, and I'll be back next week to discuss what we all saw. Thanks for watching, everybody, and remember, look up in the sky.